News Radio 700 WLW.
Rod, one of the sub-headlines on this is, I just want to talk to a human.
It's all anybody wants, right? When you're having something wrong, or when something goes wrong, you got an issue, whether it's your airline ticket or something got, you want to talk to a person. Everybody does. But guess what? Paying people to solve your problems is very expensive. So companies have learned, I guess, that they can get by with having, people on the phone, having a message system. And usually, eventually, you get to a real person if you hang in there long enough. But now even that may be going by the wayside.
Well, here to discuss with us, we've had him on before, and fascinating stuff, and a great guy to talk to. Richard Weylman, he's a Keynote speaker, Hall of Fame, Customer Service Experience Hall of Fame. He is a best-selling author, and it's a pleasure, Richard, to welcome you back to the show.
Hey, Hattie, good to be with you. Thank you so much.
So, Richard, let's talk about that. You heard Rocky say, I want to talk to a human, and I think most people do, but are bots becoming more and more prevalent?
Well, Rocky's right in the sense that both of you are, in the sense that people want to talk to a human. I mean, it's like we're down to the point now. Dial, push 1 if you're angry. That's basically where we've gotten to the point. Yeah. Or yelling representative for 10 minutes into the phone, hoping that somehow you get voice recognition. So where are we really? Well, chatbots or any AI, it's very, very effective for simple questions, simple transactions, smoothing out the back end. I mean, look at Amazon. All that work in Amazon's done. They've spent a fortune on AI. And what's it done? They haven't cut down on the customer service reps. No, it's improved their response time when you call in. They've been able to rejigger the warehouse, so now the deliveries are even quicker than before. So what Bezos has done, he's taken AI and said, wait a minute, I can increase profitability by improving services as opposed to reducing services hoping to gain profitability. And that's what these companies that are not thinking it through strategically. They see it as an easy answer. And the truth is, human beings, in the end, sure, we'll do simple transactions, but we want to have that humanized, personalized interaction with an individual, particularly on a complex topic.
So what you're saying, yeah. So what you're saying is some companies are going to see this and say, "Oh, we can just get this AI program and it's dramatically less expensive." But if it ultimately never leads to a human being
resolution
at the end of the day, at the end of going through 10 different channels, it's going to be unsuccessful. Is what you're saying?
That's exactly right. A couple of quick points. All right, look at American Airlines. Laid off 650 people, replaced it with an AI bot. What happens? Ridership is down, profits are down, revenue is down. What does Delta do? They add reps. They put AI in to manage the back end, and record profits, record ridership. So here's what the consumer will do. They're going to revolt, and they're going to go where they really feel appreciated and where they get an elevated experience. Look at Chewy. Chewy is a runaway train. Why? I have a friend of mine, cat died, all right, standing order. She called and said, my cat has passed away. I want to cancel my order, return it. They said, absolutely not. Donate it to the shelter. We will give you a full refund. She talked to a person. 3 days later, she gets a bouquet of flowers and a condolence card from that rep. AI can't do that. That goes online. It was an explosion. Over 1,200 people commented, we're switching to Chewy. So let's be clear what the consumer wants. Look at Chick-fil-A. What does Chick-fil-A advertise? They don't talk about chicken at all. They talk about what? They have people sitting on a couch and talk about the experience they had at Chick-fil-A. When I wrote my latest book, 100 Proven Ways to Acquire and Keep Clients for Life, I walked the line at Chick-fil-A and I asked people, why are you sitting in this line to order chicken? Is it that good? They said, well, they're so nice, they're so kind, they're so polite here. And this one little girl said, and I like coming here because they always give me extra pickles and I never have to ask. Well, there's your answer.
It's the little things in life, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah. And let's remember this. Chick-fil-A closes every Sunday. That means that closed, another way to put it, gentlemen and listeners, is to realize that Chick-fil-A closes November 10th and reopens January 1st. That's 52 days, and yet they have the highest gross revenue and profit of any fast food chain in the world, and they're not even 24/7.
Wow. And
there's your answer.
And you see, Richard, some of the, like, because you mentioned Delta, and We generally fly Delta if we go anywhere. And but the thing to talk to an agent, they have gotten the, we'll call you back in certain period of time. But my wife has called before about changing a flight or whatever the case might have been. And it's like, with a representative will call you back in 11 hours. Now that's a little that's a little much.
Yeah. That's a little tricky. I would have to agree with that. I've never had that experience.
Oh, yeah.
I've had delays where they'll call you back, and if the wait time is, particularly around the holidays, might be a couple of hours. But the important thing is they're not leaving me on hold, and they're allowing me to at least have a life in between the call. That's my point.
So, Richard, you're a customer experience expert. What are some other things that maybe the average person doesn't know, that maybe maybe they don't even know why they like a company, but the company gives them a certain experience and they keep going back? Is there anything else you found in all your years of research?
Yeah, it certainly is, and it has a lot to do with the way they're communicated with. As an example, if you send me an email that says "Dear Client" or "Dear Customer," I realize then that you're basically running a database that's a customer database instead of a customer experience database. You can put my name in there and address me as a human being, Dear Richard or Dear Eddie, whatever the case might be, instead of Dear Customer or Dear Client. So that's one. Watch the way you communicate with people. So when you, instead of saying feel free to call, say feel welcome to call. Everything we pulled with people, they think it's far more gracious and kind. Don't sign your emails best. That's the number one disliked email signature we've ever encountered. Best and sincerely yours. Considered institutional and meaningless.
Really?
Yeah, what do people like? Yeah. Warm regards, kind regards. Warm regards has got the highest score marks, and kind regards is, I'll call it a close second by millipoints. So the little things make a difference. Know their name. If you've got a customer service rep, the last thing you want to ask that person is a customer experience rep. Let's say you called a customer service line. They said, "Can you spell your name?" Most of us can, at least from my recollection. So please spell your name so I can record it or look it up correctly. Another thing, don't tell people, "Let me look at your account." Well, let me look at your order. Let me look at your financial objectives. Let me look at your record. People don't want to be an account. They feel it's just, again, a transaction. That's where people are today. They're fed up with being treated like a transaction and just somebody to generate revenue, when they're looking for is somebody to personalize and humanize the experience. And what does that mean? They're looking for a company that demonstrates four things: kindness, thoughtfulness, caring, and empathy. You do that, you win them over, and they become brand ambassadors for you. I mean, I mentioned Chick-fil-A, I mentioned several others. So if you think about it from the perspective of the companies that are really, really running away today, Amazon's done a great job. Chick-fil-A's done a great job in the marketplace. Chewy's done a great job, and there's many, many others. But the individuals that are focused on revenue and not on relationships in a marketplace where people feel disenfranchised across this country for all kinds of reasons, relationships are driving revenue. You focus on relationships, you crush the competition.
So, Richard, no matter how advanced we get or how advanced we think we are, basically what people want is good old-fashioned common courtesy and being treated like, "Hey, you're giving me your money. Thank you.
Yeah,
what can I do?
I appreciate
what can I do for you?"
Yeah.
I mean, that's what it amounts to, right?
That's exactly right. It's kind of the mindset. Let me hit that for you. Whatever I can do to elevate your experience and have you become a delighted advocate is a big win. That's like you go into a restaurant today, or you go to Starbucks and they flip around the machine for you to pay, and they want to know how much you want to tip the barista for basically handing you the coffee across the counter.
Right, exactly.
Or the new one in McDonald's. I mean, it's unbelievable. You go to McDonald's now with the $20 an hour in California, it's all kiosk. There's not even a cashier. You have to order on the kiosk. Next, I've heard they're going to start putting, what kind of a tip do you want to leave for the guy frying the burger back there in the microwave? I mean,
let me ask you about that real quick, because given everything we've talked about today about how people want to talk with humans and experience, because you see that all the time anymore, the kiosk. I went into, there's a local It's called UDF, and we love UDF. But like you order, if you want a malt now, you enter it on the thing. So what is research shown, whether it's a fast food place or whatever it is, ordering from one of those versus having a person to take your order?
Well, there's a convenience factor on a kiosk. The challenge is a lot of these kiosks, and I'm not familiar particularly with the one you mentioned, but a lot of these kiosks, they are what they call a standardized menu. And if you mentioned a malt, you might want something additional in that malt, and that option's not necessarily available on the menu on your kiosk. That's the push. And here's what happens. Consumers vote with their wallet. They say, let's not go back there. I mean, I can't never get what I want. It takes forever. I put it in the machine, and then it defaults and said, your credit card's no good. You got to start all over again. And so people just abandon that business and move away. And we're going to see more and more of this because people are fed up with being treated like a transaction and just a place to generate revenue.
But Richard, isn't the play by these companies, we're going to pound you in a submission, and you're not going to like this for a year, maybe 3 years, but eventually it's going to be everywhere, and damn it, you're just going to take it and like it. Isn't that? I feel like that's the plan, but you tell me I'm wrong.
Oh, I don't think you're wrong. There's always the group that decides we're going to be in charge, and all the rest of you are going to figure out how you can work with us. But the companies that are going to outrun the competition and crush everybody are the companies that focus on people. The companies that make a difference. I mean, you look at Walmart. Everybody said Walmart was going out of business because of Amazon. Well, what did Walmart do? They re-engineered the whole store. They changed their brand promise. It used to be low prices every day. Now it's save money, live better. How many people would like to save money, live better? Please raise your hand. What happens? Same store sales up. Inventory turn is quicker. They've got more traffic coming into stores. Now they've hired greeters again at the front door. Welcome to Walmart. Wonder why that's happening. Because people like that connection, that sense of connection with them. Wow. And now when you go into Walmart online, they've got a guy sitting in the studio, and it says, hey, Eddie, welcome back. Well, how good is that when you go online? You're like, oh, my God. And by the way, Eddie, you were here last time, and you want those moccasins. Guess what, dude? We got 3 pairs of socks that'll match that bad boy. That's where Walmart's going, and Amazon realizes it, and Bezos isn't stupid. Remember what Bezos, I'll summarize by saying this. What Jeff Bezos did, everybody talks about that picture of him in the computer, grinding it out when he was selling books. You see it online all the time. But what you don't see is what he had on the wall next to him, which was one sentence. And he said, this is what's kept me going. That one sentence in that little cramped office with a folding table and an old-timey computer said this: I am going to build the most customer-centric company in the world.
Bingo.
I don't know anybody else. I don't think anybody else that I know of, if you order something, they gladly ship it to you with a return label, just in case you want to send it back.
Richard, a
Good
real
stuff.
pleasure.
Yeah.
People want to find out more about you. Where can they go? What can they do?
All right. Very simple. Richard Weylman. I'll spell it WEYLMAN.com. WEYLMAN.com. RichardWeylman.com. My new book is out, 100 Proven Ways to Acquire and Keep Clients for Life. You can go there. You can read a sample chapter. You can download it. I speak at conferences all over the country, all over the world. You can go there. You can reach out to me there. Send me an email if you have a question. I've also just loaded, about 20-some little short videos, couple minutes, so you can show them at your meetings, kind of have a virtual opportunity or a ritual with your people where you can say, let's watch this video for a minute and a half this morning, and this is what we're going to focus on to elevate our customers' experience. It's all free. Just enjoy it. And if I can speak at a conference for you, I'd be happy to do so. Richard, WEYLMAN.com.
Richard, we appreciate it. Thanks so much, buddy.
Thank you. It's great to be with you. If I can help you again, feel welcome to reach out.
Will do.
Thanks, Richard.